Alright, let's check out what's going on with Smooth Love Potion. So, we're getting chopped up pretty hard right now. It's honestly not looking the greatest. I did just record a video for Axie Infinity, and, you know, while they don't necessarily have the exact same chart setup, they are putting in very, very similar patterns. For example, Axie, we did just break below your last line in the sand, being your 786 Fibonacci, and now we're kind of literally sitting on that last area of support. By the way, I do cover both Axie and SLP in separate videos, so if you are looking for Axie Infinity analysis as well as SLP analysis, go check out my channel. I will be providing both in separate videos. So based on the oscillators, let's start off with our oscillators, then we can go into our momentum indicators. Looking at our oscillators, and I said this for Axie as well, which is why they both have a very, very similar setup. They really follow each other. You can see your oscillators on Smooth Love Potion are completely oversold right now. Your RSI is, you know, literally pressing down into that oversold level, and your money flow indicators come all the way down to 10, literally halfway down from oversold to 0. Historically, you know, we have had a few lows, or we've had one low lower than this rather, down here at 3. And we even proceeded to move down in terms of price action after that. I believe that was a... Let's see, so from here, yeah, we just had a dead cat bounce. So, you know, your oscillators, they're definitely saying we could have a move to the upside in the short term. This is, bear in mind, in the short term. So, for example, you know, we've come down to our 2.618 Fibonacci. I wouldn't be surprised if we had a bounce up to your 786. That could potentially bring SLP all the way up to 156 again, before a move down to the downside. From the retest, that would entail about a 23% move to the upside. We've already had a little bit of a bounce, so I could see a 20 to 21% move coming for SLP in the short term. That is on the daily time frame. If we come over to the 4 hour, you can really see we've really just been chopping around at these lower levels for the most part for a little while now. We're honestly showing extreme weakness in the market. However, like I said, slightly higher time frames, your oscillators are completely oversold. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do have a dead cat bounce before having another move to the downside. Your money flow indicator is pretty overextended on SLP, but your relative strength index is very, very low, meaning that, you know, there are still people picking up SLP, mainly retail traders buying, but the relative strength is getting weaker and weaker. And this shows me, I talk about this in a lot of my SLP videos because it is a big concern that I do have. If you haven't read the Axie Infinity white paper, I definitely recommend reading that. The gist of SLP is basically that it is, you know, a very, very hyperinflationary token. It does reward Axie Infinity players. By playing Axie Infinity, players get rewarded in SLP. Now, a lot of people think, and I've had a lot of comments and asked about this before, people have said to me, well, when Axie Infinity becomes a mainstream game and everyone plays Axie, won't SLP go to the moon? And it's really a 50-50 depending on what happens, because in theory, the more players playing Axie, I mean, once again, you can read this in the white paper, the more players playing Axie, the more rewards are going to be generated for SLP, meaning that SLP is going to become even more hyperinflationary the more people play it. So there are a bunch of warning signs on this. I've talked about this in my previous videos, which is why I previously said, you know, for me, I would really only be looking at SLP as a short-term trade, because the trend is your friend until the end, and the macro trend is very, very bearish on this. I do still hold a very, very small bag of this, but yeah, honestly, it's not looking the greatest for SLP right now. Your momentum indicators, like the daily, once again, just like your oscillators, are calling for a move to the upside. Perhaps, you know, that 20 or 30% dead cat bounce that I was talking about, but, you know, much more macro time. It's not looking the greatest for SLP. So just like I said for Axie Infinity, the trend is your friend until the end. I don't plan on trying to catch a falling knife. I'd much rather buy a confirmed breakout, and unfortunately I don't see any bottoming signals. I don't see anything like this, like an inverse head and shoulders or a W pattern that we could potentially trade. Everything points for lower price targets at the moment. However, like I said, your oscillators, they're very oversold. I would not be shorting this at any point in time down at these regions. However, it is to be, you know, made aware that we can have another move to the downside. So I will be sitting on the sidelines for Smooth Love Potion. As always, none of this is financial advice. It is just my opinion on the market. And also, we finally set up the Discord. I hope to see you in there. The link to the Discord will be in the description below. that is all I've got for you today. Cowboy out, not financial advice. Peace.